is doing right now, listen to me everybody and listen very well. Don't follow any trend that rubbishes the supernatural. When a pastor has a testimony, somebody told him a testimony, and the pastor said this is what somebody shared, they say, oh, it's a lie.
God want me to experience that. That thing I told my children, that is real. My God, my God. When there is a danger, say, I am a choosing, I am a choosing, I am a choosing. You danger.
False Christs and false prophets, they peddle miracles. They go around noisily hawking their wares. They are into showmanship. It's all about miracle, 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 and they go all over the place. You've got to be careful, because like I've always said, miracles are not exclusive to Christianity.
The people now come out with their own mouth to testify. You still say it's a lie. Very soon you will say the word of God is a lie.
Any church, any preaching where the emphasis is on great signs, wonders, miracles, like the recent ones we're hearing all over the place, you know, lions appearing and all kinds of stuff, you've got to be wary and careful.
If the supernatural acts of God are not real, then what are we here? Without power, Christianity is a club. How do you explain Daniel spending the night with hungry lions? It wasn't a movie. Be careful how you rubbish the supernatural, because what the devil is doing, Satan knows a day will come in your life. All you will need to get out of trouble is the supernatural. So anytime you speak against the act of God, you are shortchanging yourself.
Shut up your mouth.
Your criticism of God's power does not diminish God's power.
Shut up your mouth. That is how you make people gullible. We have what is called discernment, and as children of God, we must be discerning.
Not the things of the spirit. They are foolishness. They are foolishness. You know what the devil is doing right now? Listen to me everybody and listen very well. Don't follow any trend that rubbishes the supernatural. If the supernatural acts of God are not real, then why are we here? Without power, Christianity is a club. It takes power to stand out. You have to be very careful. Don't follow the trend. Avoid what is trending. When the devil wants, you know what is happening? When a pastor has a testimony, somebody told him a testimony, and the pastor said this is what somebody shared, they say, oh, it's a lie. The people now come out with their own mouth to testify. You still say it's a lie. Very soon you will say the word of God is a lie. That's where we are going. Because the Bible is a book of supernatural. How do you explain Daniel spending the night with hungry lions? It wasn't a movie. Jesus walked on the water. It wasn't a movie. He took 5 loaves of bread and fed 5,000 men. It wasn't a movie. Somebody touched the hem of his garment and became healed. That was not a movie. Be careful how you rubbish the supernatural, because what the devil is doing, Satan knows a day will come in your life. All you will need to get out of trouble is the supernatural. Anytime you rubbish the act of God, it does not stop the act of God. It stops the act of God in your own life. It doesn't stop the act of God from happening. Abuse miracles from now till next year. People are still getting miracles, but you will not get miracles. So anytime you speak against the act of God, you are shortchanging yourself. Your criticism of God's power does not diminish God's power. It only diminishes it in your life. So whenever you speak against the act of God, you are undoing yourself. It means nothing to God. Miracles will keep happening. Strange things will keep happening. When God gives you a platform and you use that platform against him, he will take it from you. A wise man who became great, I asked him a question. He told me, he said, 3 people you must avoid in life. He said, clergymen, whether malams or pastors, he said, avoid. Whether they are fake or they are real, is lead them with God. They have a judgment waiting for them. He said, number 2, royal fathers, kings. He said, avoid them because they are connected to ancestors. You speak against them, the ancestors will come for you. He was telling me. He said, and number 3, which is very careful, orphans. He said, you see, orphans, God is their father. Avoid them. He told me, say, if you are smart, you avoid these 3 categories of people, you will go far in life. But today, everything goes. We just speak against things. You rubbish the supernatural acts of God. And Christians, those who are going to church, follow them. And you are making mockery of something that you will need tomorrow. The supernatural is real. It's real. Something doesn't have to make sense to you for it to be right. You are too infinitesimal for something to make sense to you. God is too big to make sense to you. It's too big. How do you explain the heavens, the clouds suspended from the earth? That's a miracle. No pillar. No pillar.
I'm projecting miracles. Miracles do not save anybody. Only the gospel saves. What we have that is exclusive to us as Christians is the gospel. And we must stay with the gospel. We must be committed to the gospel. And anywhere the gospel is properly preached, The Lord will work with it, confirming his word in the lives of men and women with signs and wonders. We don't follow them, and we don't display them, and we don't use miracles as a yardstick of God being in a place. The yardstick of God being in a place is the gospel. That is what is exclusive to us. The message of his death, the message of his resurrection. Jesus said, an evil generation seek for signs. When you see people that are always running all over the place, miracle, miracle, from one church to another, from one early morning prayer to one midnight prayer, one all night prayer, looking for miracles, they are called an evil generation. And Jesus said, none shall be given to them except the sign of Jonas. That is, God's greatest miracle is the gospel of his death, burial, and resurrection. The sign of Jonas is Jonah in the womb of the belly 3 days, which is the message of his death, burial, and resurrection. Look at Mark chapter 13 verse 20. Pay attention. Mark chapter 13 verse number 20. And except that the Lord has shortened those days, no flesh should be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he had chosen, he has shortened the days. Next verse. And then, if any man shall say to you, lo, here is Christ. You know, the Christ that you have to go to Israel to find, or the Christ that you have to go to one mountain to look for, or the Christ you have to go to one altar to look for. If they shall say to you, lo, here is Christ, or lo, he is there, believe him not. Next verse. Next verse. Watch this. For false Christs and false prophets shall rise and shall show. They are showmen. Everywhere you see them, they always want to display miracle, miracle. They are in a showbiz. They shall show signs and wonders, and the mission is to seduce, if it were possible, even the elect. Like I've said again, one of the distinct features of false Christ and false prophets is that they revel. They are always looking for how to do miracles and display it and show it. To them, miracles is a marketing strategy. To them, miracles are so that they can use it to show that they are powerful men of God. And he said this is a distinct feature of false prophets and a false Christ. A false Christ.
What happened?